Long before I even started making YouTube videos, I've been unironically watching and enjoying rom-coms, romance movies, stories about boy meets girl, they fall in love, uh-oh, the world's keeping them apart, but it's okay in the end because true love. Yippee. In watching as many of these movies as I have, which I'm sure is way too many for my own good, one constant trope or character archetype that shows up quite regularly, even now, is the manic pixie dream girl. Now, I have to be honest, I used to eat up these stories so much when I was younger, and by younger, really I just mean like up until a couple years ago. That is, the story of this girl who's so full of life, always happy and exciting, and for some inexplicable reason, she chooses me, of all people.
So that was fun the other night.
But the more I thought about it and the older I've become, maybe not wiser, but older all the same, I really started wondering about manic pixie dream girls, and sometimes manic incubus dream boys, I guess, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna focus on the former. I suppose we should probably define what manic pixie dream girl actually means, just so we're all on the same page. The term was first introduced in 2007, when Nathan Rabin reviewed that old Kirsten Dunst Orlando Bloom classic, Elizabethtown. In his review, he described Kirsten Dunst's character as a bubbly, shallow, cinematic creature, aka the manic pixie dream girl, who exists solely in the fevered imaginations of sensitive writer-directors. Now, the idea of this character trope has probably been around since the history of time, really. A girl who's constantly happy, excited about life, quirky, doing whatever she wants, whenever she wants, just constantly giving middle fingers to societal expectations. On a surface level, this sounds like a pretty great thing, right? A story about a girl who just is herself all the time, doesn't care what people think or how she's supposed to act.
Look, you can throw me out if you want to, but you did look so cozy in here, and your decorated friend had gone home, and it was beginning to get a bit cold out there in the fire escape.
And I always heard people in New York never get to know their neighbors.
We see this in movies like Breakfast at Tiffany's, 500 Days of Summer, all the way up to the recent Disney Plus movie, Stargirl. But when you start pulling back on the surface layer of these stories, it really kind of starts to fall apart. Because movies about manic pixie dream girls are never actually movies about manic pixie dream girls. These movies always start off with the first ingredient, a sad boy. Like Leo from Stargirl, Tom from 500 Days of Summer, or me from like 6 months ago.
And right then I knew. If I wanted to survive, it was better to lay low. I was gonna have to be just like everybody else. No one would see me. No one would hear me. I was gonna disappear.
The boy grew up believing that he'd never truly be happy until the day he met the one.
Why are they sad? Well, it's because life is hard. No one understands me. Love is a lie. I didn't get any Valentines, and I gave one to Jenna, but then I saw it in the garbage can after fourth period, so looks like it's brooding time. First, we have the sad boy, and the only thing that can fix him, turns out, is when the new girl shows up at school or work or whatever. And immediately he's attracted to this girl because she represents everything he wishes he was. Happy, spontaneous, quirky, can pull off bright red overalls. I mean, come on. What these stories almost always end up being about is how this girl comes into this boy's life, and just by being herself and existing, she gives him confidence, helps him find purpose or interest in life. Maybe she gives him his first kiss or something, and that's really all he needed the whole time. The job of the manic pixie dream girl is to fix the sad boy and lead him to wherever he's supposed to go, to be whoever he's supposed to be, and then disappear just as suddenly as she appeared in the first place. Now, an interesting little thought experiment I did was comparing this to, I guess, like the girl version of the same fantasy. Let's take a look at Twilight, for example. We start off with a lonely, brooding, misunderstood sad girl, and we know all this about her because she wears Chuck Taylors.
I would miss Phoenix. I'd miss the heat. I would miss my loving, erratic, harebrained mother. But they want to go on the road, so I'm going to spend some time with my dad. And this will be a good thing. I think.
So what happens to her? Well, the first day of school, she catches the eye of the super hot, every girl wants him, sad, brooding guy who helps her transform into a completely different but better version of herself, right? Nope. Once again, it's the girl's job to transform the boy, to help him stop doing whatever bad things he's doing and turn him into the guy she wants him to be.
Say it.
Vampire.
Are you afraid?
No.
What do we eat?
You won't hurt me.
In both of these scenarios, the fantasy is about changing the boy into someone else. Get more confidence, dress better, learn how to play more than one song on the guitar. Maybe don't stare so much, you get the idea. Boys have to change, girls get to be themselves. Boys need to be fixed, girls need a project. It assumes that all change must come externally. A girl's job is to change a boy, and a boy cannot change or improve on his own.
I don't know, man. I think it's official. I'm in love with Summer. I love her smile. I love her hair. I love her knees. I love this heart-shaped birthmark she has on her neck. I love the way she sometimes licks her lips before she talks. I love the sound of her laugh.
Now, one key difference in these fantasies I noticed is that in the girl version, the newly minted perfect boyfriend gives up his old life to be with her forever, whereas the manic pixie dream girl more often than not somehow disappears from the boy's life by moving away or breaking up with him or something.
You should have told me. When we were at the, wedding and we were dancing.
Well, he hadn't asked me yet.
But he was in your life.
Yeah.
So why'd you dance with me?
Because I wanted to.
You just do what you want, don't you?
And just like that, she was gone. Her mom sold the house. I imagine they were on the road somewhere.
I suppose one reason for this is because being with a manic pixie dream girl for an extended period of time would probably not be a great relationship to be in. I mean, if the person you're with is just always being quirky and doing whatever they want, whenever they want, I'm sure that can be fun at the beginning. Every day is exciting and you never really know what's gonna happen. But in the long run, can you really base a relationship off of uncertainty and doing everything on a whim? In every relationship, whether romantic or platonic, there has to be a certain level of compromise. Now, too much of this, and you're getting into a different problem, but having a relationship based on the idea of, I do whatever I want and you have to deal with it or leave, doesn't really seem like a happily ever after kind of thing.
No, don't pull that with me. Don't even try to. This is not how you treat your friend. Kissing in the copy room, holding hands in IKEA.
I like you, Tom. I just don't want to release.
Well, you're not the only one that gets a say in this. I do too.
Now, to be fair, in 500 Days of Summer, we come to find out that Tom is kind of like the bad guy of the movie, but you get what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna let you do this.
You're not going to let me.
Ollie, I'm in love with you.
So what?
So what? So plenty.
I'm not going to let anyone put me in a cage.
I don't want to put you in a cage. I want to love you.
It's the same thing.
This whole idea of the quirky, manic pixie dream person or whatever, at its core, really just kind of seems like glorified selfishness. It allows the person to shrug off all responsibility and empathy for how their actions are affecting people around them. And if you bring this up to her and express how her actions are making you feel, she'll brush you off with something like, well, this is just who I am, so deal with it or find someone else. Now, of course, there are countless nuances to all these situations, and it would probably take many hours to dive into all of them, and certainly there's nothing wrong with just being yourself up to a point. Of course, everyone is different and unique in their own way, and being in any relationship with anyone has its ups and downs. But when being yourself supersedes basic human decency and respect for people and their time, I'm not sure this is really something you should aspire to be or fantasize about. Now, obviously, nothing I've said in this video is particularly unique or revolutionary or whatever, because, there's people have been sort of dissecting and talking about this whole manic pixie dream girl trope, whatever, for like a long time. But in watching the Stargirl movie on Disney Plus, and then I went back and I watched 500 Days of Summer, and then Breakfast at Tiffany's, and just kind of looking at this whole quirky girlfriend, manic pixie type of whatever trope. And there's a lot of discourse about the trope itself and how no woman would ever be like this and it's completely unrealistic. That's all very true, but I wanted to kind of look at it a little bit from the guy's perspective. The way this entire trope portrays the man, the guy, is also something that no one should fantasize about, because the whole point of this trope is it assumes the guy is just such a worthless schlub that he can't do anything on his own and he needs a literal magical creature to like fix his life, you know what I mean? But it's portrayed in this sort of like realistic, almost attainable way. And like looking at this trope from the guy's perspective or the girl's perspective, like no girl wants to be with a guy who is just this like completely pathetic, like I can't do anything on my own. You know, obviously the fantasy is that girls want to fix guys, but I feel like in real life that gets really old really quick. And also in the reverse, it's like trying to have a relationship with someone who lives their entire life based on whatever they feel like doing in the moment. They have no sense of like responsibility, or like they can't really see outside of their own head type of thing. Like who would ever want to be in a relationship with someone like that? You know what I mean? Where it's like, where you're every day you're just like, well, is she gonna remember I exist today? Or like everything she said yesterday, did she mean it? Or was that just how she felt at the moment and today she feels different? Like being in that relationship would make you so neurotic. Like there's nothing desirable about either of these positions. So the whole trope in and of itself completely falls apart. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. It's good to do a video essay, especially with recent events and stuff. Trying to sit down and write a bunch of jokes about stuff is really kind of difficult and it feels a little bit weird. So I kind of wanted to be a little more serious. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I don't do video essays too often, but I mean, every now and then you get one. And also follow me on Twitter. Anyway, everybody have a great day and I'll see you all next time.